What's up, everyone? Welcome to Midnight Motivation, a real and raw podcast about motivation, entrepreneurship, and achieving success. I'm your host, Tony Pec. Welcome back to all my fellow bosses, part of the Midnight Motivation mob. I appreciate you listening in, subscribing, rating, and reviewing, and welcome all new listeners. If you're listening for this first time to be a part of the amazing movement that is the Midnight Motivation mob, and you want to become a boss, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review to the podcast. Today's episode, I want to talk about the power of perspective. To me, my greatest asset is my mindset. And part of my mindset is my positivity. My positivity doesn't come just from, me thinking about unicorns, fucking dandelions, and rainbows. My positivity comes from me having a different perspective on things. And one thing I think is important to have is the positivity in your daily life, no matter what situation you're in. And for most of you listening in, I'm going to assume you have a job or you have some type of job and you're employed by someone. And you may hate working there. You may just hate having a job. You may hate your boss. You may hate how much you make. But I want to shed some light on it by changing the perspective, how much better your life can become, especially in a situation of having a 9-to-5 and just hating it and just dreading waking up every morning. Instead of hating that you need to wake up every morning for your job and hating that you have to go in for work, hating that you have to deal with your boss, look at it differently. How about if you wake up every day, instead of thinking you need to be awake for your job, you wake up because you're choosing to wake up. And a good way to think of it is that if you didn't have that job, you'd be waking up at the same time anyway to be grinding on yourself. So you're not waking up necessarily for your job, you're just waking up because you'd wake up at that time anyway, and what you have to go do today is go to your job. Because at the end of the day, your job is still grinding on yourself if you look at it in the right perspective. When you're at your job and you're making money, and that money you can use if you save or hold smartly, you can use that money to invest and grow yourself. You can grow a side hustle. You can invest in yourself. You don't have to necessarily invest in property or stocks. Invest in, audio books or courses. So your job, yes, it's a job. You're employed by someone. But don't let it take away that it's still, you're grinding on yourself. There's opportunity while having a job. You don't have to worry about the overhead of starting a business. You don't have to worry about the overhead of employees and those types of headaches that a lot of people do fear when they go into business. So if you change your mindset and your perspective on, your job when you're in there, start thinking about the opportunity that you have that is a job. And it can be any job. It doesn't have to be that you're at a Fortune 500 company. You can be anywhere, and you should apply this mindset to wherever you're at if you don't enjoy where you are. You need to think about it as an opportunity. And aside from making money by showing up, you have an opportunity to learn while you're at your job. You have the opportunity to learn about how a company does good things, if you had a good company, or how it does things poorly. You have an opportunity to learn about how you should treat employees and that they respect and enjoy the culture that they're in and they perform better for you. You also have an opportunity to see if the ways not to treat your employees that make people like you not enjoy being there and wanting to produce more. You can use all this knowledge now, after being at the job that you hate, to go off and start your own successful business. Things in that you haven't taken in before, and see how drastically your position and your job changes. You're going to be held in a higher light. You're going to be respected more. I'm sure you'll get a promotion or a raise or some sort of, positive benefit to your new attitude. And guess what? If you don't get any positive benefit from your employer for how you've been with your positivity and your willingness to do more because you want to learn more, then you just take everything you learned over that year and go start your own fucking successful business, because now you know what to do. Now you know how to treat people and how to learn stuff about your business, and you can apply that, and you can just go do your own fucking thing now. Now you have more experience because you paid attention in the job you were in. So it's important, though, to me to stress this message, because I think it's hard for a person to become a great leader if they're not a great employee. And it's not always necessarily true, because some people that became great leaders, they were never an employee at any point in time, but they had the right mindset and attitude, and they strided to become the best leader they possibly could. But for the majority of people, they don't want to have a 9 to 5 and they're sick and tired of being an employee. And those people push to start their own business. And once they do, they're not the best leaders. And I think it trails back to them not being the best employee. So if you hate your job and you're just a terrible employee there, or you just do enough to get by, you're not going to become the best leader, because how you do anything in this life is how you do everything. So if you're not going to do your best where you are, even though you are an employee, then chances are you're not going to be doing the best if you're working for yourself and you have employees. So just take that mindset with you every day when you wake up and you're fucking miserable of waking up early. Just think of it, you're not waking up for the job. The job doesn't determine you. You determine you. So you're waking up every morning with the fucking purpose. And that purpose every day is you're going out in the day to fucking learn. And that learning is going to help you grow. And that growth is going to help you to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve.